Howdy! How's all my peeps out there in YouTube land? I got a little project I'm working on here. I'm going to do a little wood burning. This is something I've not done a video on here on YouTube, and I thought you might all enjoy seeing how wood burning works a little bit. If you didn't already know, there's different kinds of wood burners on the market. This particular one that I've got here, this has a control on it so that you can set the heat setting on it for whatever you're burning. And you can burn all kinds of things, gourds and wood and different kinds of objects. Some people can even do fancy stuff with paper with a wood burner. That's one thing that I have not tried yet, but maybe in my future. And I'm going to be burning a little wood. I got a little piece of basswood, a little basswood plank here, and I'm going to try to show you how this works. When you have a heat gun, a wood burner, you got to plug them in and get them hot. And it's always good to have you a board or something, whatever kind of material, have a spare piece that you can put it down to see how hot it is. Is it burning the wood? Is it doing what you want to do? And there's all kinds of different bits and stuff that you can get for these. This particular one, I've got a whole set here of different attachments that you can put on it. And when you go to change these, you want to make sure that you turn it off and that the tip is good and cool before you go messing with it. And even then, you need to have a pair of pliers around so that you can pull the tip out. And you should have a bowl of water. If it's anywhere near hot, you need to put it in a bowl of water and let it cool off. And these just screw and unscrew in and out of the device. All right. Different kinds of tips will give you different kinds of results. So that's the story on that. You can get all different kinds of them. All you got to do is look them up on the internet and see what you like. I've got this one. I've got another one that does not have a heat attachment control to it. And I don't like that one as well as I like this one. I can control this one a little better. The only issue that I have with this is that if you bump this thing around, this control thing, you change the settings on it when you're trying to use it. So I try to keep that up where I'm not going to be bumping it during my process. And I always like to be able to turn my work so that I can work around it when I'm burning, rather than have it just, pinned down to the board someplace so that you can't work on it right and you can get around it a little better. Another thing that you really should do, and I don't usually do this, but you should keep the cord behind your hand when you're working with a wood burner. I'm trying to get it under the camera there so you can see. Keep the cord behind your hand and be a little easier to work with them that way. And if you set your wood burner down for any reason, you should have a stand to set it on so that the point is tipping up and not touching anything, because it is hot and it will burn through things. It'll catch stuff on fire. It's hot. Hot is hot, and you don't ever want to touch the tip on one of these things when it's hot. You think your glue guns are hot? I've got news for you. This will brand you. Okay, so with that in mind, we got a little design here that we want to burn. And when I burn this, I like to just come out a little bit at a time. Just ease out a little bit at a time with a wood burner. Now, this is a pattern. It is a piece of paper that is pattern paper that is made to be burnt through. You can get packs of these patterns where you can peel and stick them to your project. And after you have burnt your project, you just peel the sticker off. They're real easy to remove. And you just ease right around it. There's no rush. We're not trying to do a fast process here. We're just trying to get the design burned into the wood nice and steady. Oops. Nice steady pace. Up and even that up a little bit. Back down here. Ease right along. Okay, we got that one done. Move over here to this side. When I'm doing a design, I generally like to start at the outside edge and get my outline done first. It's just the way I like to do it. I mean, when you're doing your design, you do them any way you want to. You should follow your directions with your wood burner as to what heat setting you need to set it at for whatever kind of a surface you're burning. Wood generally takes one of your higher settings. This tip that I'm using right now with this, great for doing lines. I think they refer to this as the calligraphy tip. It's got a little tiny hook there on the end of it. Just go real easy on your lines, easing them in. Sometimes the grain of the wood will push your blade off just a little bit, but you can come in and kind of straighten it up a little bit. And nothing in nature is perfect, so expect that it's not going to look like it's been stamped on, you know, because you're burning it by hand. That's part of the process of it being handmade. I'm not pushing into the wood, I'm just letting the tip glide over. Just guiding it along. And the gun does get hot. I'm holding on to this rubber tip up here, but I can still feel that the gun is hot. I don't call it wood burning just to be making something up. They do it because burning is hot. It's branding the wood. Make sure I'm keeping it in camera so you can see what I'm doing. I always like to position it so that I can see behind the blade where I'm dragging the blade so that I stay on my line. Over this one again, it doesn't look quite dark enough to me. Like that tip down a little bit as part of that pattern paper burnt to it, making carbon. Got my tip dragging. Oops, sliding a little bit. And this is just rolling right along. Don't take very long to do these. You just ease it up just a little bit at a time. And before you know it, you've got a pretty pattern burn into your wood. You could put a hanger on this, hang it on the wall. You could make a window type insert in the front of a journal you're making. Once this is all stained and ready to rock, you could put it in that panel in your journal. Now I like to just kind of sit back for a second and take a look at the whole thing, see if there's any lines I need to go over again, make sure that I've got everything on there the way I want it before I go peeling the paper off. Darken up a couple lines here a little bit more. But for the most part, I think she's looking pretty good. About the way I'd like for her to be. Looking pretty nice. So with that, I am going to turn off the wood burner because I'm done with my pattern. I'm going to take the wood burner. I'm going to put it over here. You're probably not going to be able to see it real good. I'm going to be out of camera a little bit, but it's in the holder with the point sticking up. And we'll move the camera there a little bit. See, I've got point sticking up on it. It ain't up against nothing. It ain't going to burn nothing. And there she sits to cool off. And I got the cord right here. She's all unplugged. And Brenda won't be catching the house on fire. So there you have it. I'll put the lid back on these so they don't go flying all over the house. And there you have the Celtic heart all burnt on the wood. Now, the next step is to take the paper off of it. And it sit there for a minute so it's cooled down enough that I can go to peeling this loose. There's the outer part of it tore off. We put that down here in the trash bag. And then we go pulling the inner part off of it. And I may need to find like a pair of scissors here to ease under the edge of it some. See if I can get it loose. There we go. Oops, I missed a whole line. I missed a whole doggone line on it. Well, for crying out loud, I guess we will be plugging the burner back in. Glad I noticed that before I got too carried away. All right. I'll take just a second here for it to heat back up good. Don't take very long for them to heat up, and this one wasn't cooled down much, so she should get right back with the program here. Get a little carbon on it. We'll go back over that line just one more time. Make sure we get it burning there real good. Seems to be going in real well. All right, now let's try that one more time. Unplugging the burner, get it back in the holder, set it up here out of the way so the tip's not touching nothing. Put the cord up there. Now, let's try that again. Just comes off a piece at a time because we burnt through that pattern, see? So, should come loose all around the edges. We'll work our way to the inside. Just peel it up one piece at a time off of there. The more intricate your design is, the more peeling you'll have to do. But it's just all part of the process. I look at it this way. I've only got to peel it one time. Well, I don't want to let go of me. Get in the trash can. Well, I need my stylus up here, but I don't see it. I don't know what I can use. Try and get it out here. Well, maybe not. Too many things on the desk. A little knife we'll use. These right up underneath all of that. I'll have to figure out what color stain I'd like to put on this, or if I'm going to paint it. May paint the design on that. That's where it's hard to see where there's still film on it and where there's not. And I see another place that I missed. Well, for goodness sakes. My old age, I'm getting blind as a bat. So we'll plug the iron back in, let her heat up. And I'll come back and hit that line. That one right there I missed. All right, well, in the meantime, I could try taking some of the rest of this off while I'm waiting on the heat gun. So it ain't going to take much just to burn that one little line in there. You gotta feel it, because if you feel it, the wood has the wood grain to it, and when you get to this piece that has the pattern on it, it's real slick because it's got that pattern paper. So with that done, now come back here and we'll test out our gun. And she's cooled down. Just have this one little line here to draw on it. Starting to heat up. Go back over that side just a little bit. Since we got it heated up now. All right, yeah. I believe that has got it. So one more time. The heat gun up there in the rack. Point ain't touching nothing. Get the cord up there. And let her cool down. We'll get underneath that. There's that piece. And then we got this piece. There's a piece there I got to take off yet. All right, now. Piece on there, can't really tell. No, I believe that's wood. That's all wood. Okay. Now, the next step would be to hit that with just a tad of sandpaper. And I've got this Abranet. If you've never seen this stuff, this is great. This is a fiber sandpaper. And this lasts for flipping ever. There's different grades of this. There's 6 grades. This one happens to be the 400 grit. And it's got Velcro on the back of it. If you've got a sand pad that's got the Velcro, you can put it on that sand pad. I just generally fold it over like this. And then I go over my piece. And depending upon, you know, what kind of sanding you need to do will be the harder the grit that you'd need to use on it. But this doesn't need a whole lot of sanding. It just needs the little pieces, little fibers there where you did the wood burning, knocked down on it. Whoops. And that's nice and smooth there. Didn't take much, just a little touch. And there is your Celtic heart carved out. Then I will go over that with, well, there they are. Piece of paper towel. to kind of tack that a little bit. And before I do that, I'm going to dip it in a little alcohol. Put a little alcohol on that. And that will take all the little sawdust fines off of it where I just sanded it and make it nice and ready to put the stain on it. Just cleans it up real good there. And the alcohol dries quickly. And I did not get all the paper off of that because I can see it now that I've got the alcohol on it. So I'll get the rest of that paper off of there. Alcohol just made that paper shine. Thought it looked like there was some on there, but I just wasn't able to feel it. Yeah, come on off there. Okay, we just about got it now. Well, such a little tiny piece and it just don't want to come up off of there. Now I got paper stuck to me. All right. That is looking awesome right there. Now I finally got it all off of there. Okay, now one more time we'll hit it with this sandpaper again since we didn't have all the paper off of it that time. Just make sure that we got it sanded down good. That's looking good. And we'll hit it one more time with this alcohol on the paper towel to make sure we don't have any dust on it. When you go to stain something, you want it to be dust-free. And there is the Celtic heart, wood burnt into the little plaque. Now, for my next amazing feat, I think I'll probably be staining this in my next video, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode of what can Brenda do next with her little wood burnt plaque. And I also have another piece here that I did a wood burn design in. I'll show you this. It's a little tray that I did a wood burn in. And I'm going to be staining that one as well. So we'll see how that works out here in the next video. So with that being done, remember, Brenda's crafty. Be like Brenda.